the CTO, Battle Motors, Kelly Shankel, and the chair of ETTN. Welcome, Kelly, to the 2W podcast.
Welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me. So excited today.
Yeah, absolutely. Also joining us, Bob Morreal, president of the Tuning School. I want to say welcome to the 2W podcast, and we just really thank you guys for joining us. And to kind of talk a lot about SEMA, talk about ETTN, and really what that means to the industry. And so, what I would love to kind of do, Kelly, is just kind of from your perspective. We're looking at SEMA. We have a lot of great things going on. We have a lot of great awards. Engineer of the Year. I think that's we're here to really make an announcement on who that will be, and he is in the house. But I'd love for you just to kind of give a high level of what SEMA means to the industry, what ET, and how it truly impacts what we do today.
Oh my gosh, where do I start? SEMA's impact on the aftermarket is huge, and the impact of SEMA on even just the automotive OEMs is absolutely incredible. What SEMA is much more than a show. Right? When people think of SEMA, a lot of times they just think of the show. SEMA is an incredible organization that gives back to the industry, that promotes, the importance of the aftermarket on both the OEMs and consumers. It allows us to personalize our vehicles, obviously make everything go faster, which we all love. But we also have a very important advocacy arm within SEMA that is actually driving change at the federal and state level into the industry. I mean, you can't be much more impactful than that. And so SEMA is hugely impactful on the industry, but also ETTN stands for Emerging Trends and Technologies Network. And, I've been involved in ETTN now for almost a decade. And, our network has evolved over the years, but really at our core, we are here to help engineers, product developers, product managers be able to do their jobs better. Our industry is evolving at a rate never seen before. The fact that we are adding in, alternative powertrains, alternative fuels at a rate, again, never seen before, even with the fuel crunch of the 70s and 80s. And so ETTN, our goal is to help engineers and product developers be able to do their jobs better and help keep up with those emerging trends and technologies. And more importantly, help engineers understand how that impacts their job, how that impacts their role within their organization, and how that can assist them in growing in the industry. So I'm extremely passionate about, ETTN and how we are the tip of the spear as far as new technologies and what's coming to the industry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's so true. I mean, Lucas and I, we talk a lot about really where the industry is going, what the future is, and, our commitment to the day-to-day, our commitment to the industry and great talent. We have a big push for bringing great young talent in the industry. I think it's I don't know why I love the industry, but I didn't want to be in it's not like I dreamed as a kid to be in the industry, but when you get in it, man, it grabs you and it sucks you in. And, for us to highlight great talent, engineer of the year, that we're going to get to in a sec. But what I would love to get to before that is when we start to look at ETTN, obviously, Kelly, you're the chair. And we're going to be passing the baton. Is that what we have here?
We are. We're going to be passing the baton to Bob next year. And so we're really excited about that and allowing Bob to, make his mark on ETTN.
You're in trouble now.
No, make his mark in the industry.
Yep. Yeah,
that is awesome.
Crayons and a big white sheet of paper when I'm on.
Oh, that's great, man. No, that is awesome.
Yes,
that is awesome. Yeah. So ETTN Chair-elect Bob Morreal, president of the Tuning School. Bob, if you would, I know you and Mike Black are close. You mind sharing a little bit about the Tuning School and kind of what you guys do? And Mike, feel free to chime in as well.
Yeah, sure. We started the tuning school in 2008 because we felt that there was a big void in the industry. You know, tuning was like the wild, wild west, and it just bothered me. And I had been tuning since the 90s, and nobody would teach me, and I couldn't find the information anywhere. And it was just a mess. You know, the whole side of the industry was a mess. And you would talk to the people that would make products, you know, big manufacturers, small manufacturers, and they all had the same problem. That people would put parts on their cars, they wouldn't go any faster. They blow them up, you know, all because there was not a proper tune in the vehicle for what they'd done to the vehicle. So we just worked on developing processes over time, and we just see ourselves as the bridge between people who, you know, they're passionate about their cars, or shop owners that they know how to build engines and build the cars physically. But when it comes to the software side, because like I'm a software nerd, I'm kind of a geek, but I also build engines. So I saw that we just needed to be a bridge, so that, you know, maybe you know how to do engine work, but you don't know how to tune the car. Well, that's the whole point of understanding the software. You know, what is this telling you about your engine, so you can properly dial it in, so you get the best fuel economy, the best emissions, the best performance, everything you can. You know, that's the whole point. And if you can't do that, you can own the best shop in the world or have the best cars and enthusiasts in the world, but it runs terrible. And, you know, you put the best parts on, but you didn't get what you paid for. So that's really why we exist. And we're all about process. We're process driven. So whether it's naturally aspirated or forced induction or GM or Ford or Dodge or whatever, I believe it all has to be a process to get you to that end point where it starts good, it drives good, you get all the power you want. And, you know, honestly, that's what makes people happy with their vehicle in the end, is that when it performs like they paid for it. So we develop mostly curriculum to do that. And we kind of evolved into where everybody asked, which was like, hey, how do you do other things like better boost controls and better other products around the peripheral? And that was actually what led me to talking to Mike years ago. And because, you know, we have manufacturers of superchargers calling us going, hey, we make great superchargers, and at full throttle, they're great. But at drivability, we get all these phone calls, and the tuners are struggling with it. And it's not really a tuner problem. And we always tell people, don't tune around the problem. If it's a mechanical problem, fix the mechanical problem. And that's what we concluded, was that the bypass valve that they had in all these superchargers, and the brand, it didn't matter what brand, they all did just fine, but they all had the same problem, which is they use a vacuum actuator. So if you're at part throttle and the vacuum goes away, like it will, just, you know, easing in, that actuator closes, and what do you get? Instant boost. And you didn't ask for any boost. And then all of a sudden you're on a rocket ship that you didn't ask for. So nobody likes that drivability. And I said, hey, Mike, how about we design something with some electronics that isn't just, you know, basic? Let's get advanced with this, and let's look at manifold pressures and make this logic and closed loop, so it can control boost on a positive displacement supercharger. And that's where Mike took it from there.
Yeah, that's where we designed the Atlas boost controllers.
So I'm quite intrigued by that. And just for everybody, the listeners and to the SEMA Automotive, Mike Black's not just your run-of-the-mill guy. He's the 2024 Engineer of the Year.
Yes.
He's that guy. He's that guy. He is the 2024 Engineer of the Year. So it excites me that we have remarkable talent. I think Lucas and I talk a lot about the industry and us really trying to bring people in that are remarkable, that do excellent work, that have a great passion. And Mike, I would love, the creation of the Atlas boost controller. Walk us through a little bit about how you got into this and what drives you and what makes it awesome.
Oh, basically, I've been a mechanic for the last 25 years. The engineering thing's kind of new to me, really. I did go to college for engineering, so it's not like I'm throwing in there. But so I was just working on the cars around here, and Bob just had a problem with this Denali. Well, like you said, the boost would just come on too early, and it wasn't great. So he asked me if I could make something, and I whipped up something, a couple different devices to control it, and we just got better and better. And I got better and better at the circuit design part and the 3D printing and all that. And we just basically learned from the ground up.
That was awesome. A very cool description, Mike. So he took it from ground to the whole thing. But what surprised me was that he was able to figure out like the 3D, the plastics, the board design, the firmware, the software. I just found it rare that does not usually exist in one individual. And you know, engineers are usually very specific. I'm a software guy, you know, I'm a hardware guy, or whatever, or girl, lots of girls. So
Yeah.
clearly,
Yeah.
I just like to learn everything. That's all. Like
That
to
is
be-
awesome. So I've got to say, you know, you come into the 2024 Engineer of the Year award. Where do you go from here? What else have you got burning in the back burner that you're not telling anybody about?
yeah, Mike.
What else do you have in that suitcase, man?
I don't know what I can say, but yeah, there's some things coming in the future. Atlas products.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, you know, it is a prestigious time, I think, and I think it's important that we highlight the great talent. So, you know, want to personally congratulate you, Mike Black, on the 2024 Engineer of the Year award. You know, SEMA's honored to have you. I think the industry's honored to have you. We really look forward to seeing what you you know, what else you can cook up. And I'll say the 2W podcast will welcome you with open arms at any time to talk about what's behind the curtain. But before we kind of move on, I want to talk about some of the other things. I know it was discussed around the, you know, best engineered vehicle and some other awards. You know, Bob Kelly, is there any other you know, some of the awards that we want to highlight and get people's attention on as we look ahead into SEMA here, which is right around the corner?
Oh my gosh, it is. It's coming. SEMA Crunch Time is here.
Yes.
You know, the best engineered vehicle is one that, you know, ETTN brought to SEMA because we really wanted to highlight the engineering that is going into some of the vehicles that you see at SEMA. You know, some of the perceptions that you see, and I've brought several vehicles to SEMA myself. Some of the perception that you see is they're all pavement princesses, and you know, they don't actually work. You know, the whole Bluetooth drive shaft thing in trucks is a good one. But so we really wanted to highlight the engineering that goes into some of the vehicles, and so it's really, you know, the best engineered vehicle is this will be the second year. And it's really meant to highlight the quality of engineering on the entire vehicle or a certain aspect of one of the vehicles that goes beyond just the exterior appearance. And so really, really excited about that for this year. And it's something that we actually have to do on the fly at the show. So you'll see the task force kind of, you know, running around and actually judging vehicles in real time and presenting the award for approval in a couple hours. So it's a really fun kind of sprint during the show. But that's one that we definitely want to highlight because it's only in its second year and we're really excited about it.
Awesome. And
Fantastic.
that will be go ahead, Lucas.
No, I was just going to say, can you just maybe expand for us a little bit on if people are interested for next year in nominating, or if they want to nominate themselves or nominate somebody else? How does that work? How do you get a SEMA award?
For this one, for the best engineered vehicle, they will actually, there's an application process that goes on for a few months where you actually submit your proposal for the vehicle, right? And we understand that the builds are in process. And so, you know, when you submit the application, a lot of times you submit just the rendering. And then along the way, we accept emails with updated pictures and updated information on how the build's going, because when you build a SEMA vehicle, it changes from your initial proposal a lot. And so that's why we ask for, you know, the additional documentation along the way. But it's really simple on SEMA's website, you know, or you can Google SEMA Best Engineered Vehicle. And I believe the application process, you know, kind of begins around June or July. And then we accept applications all the way through the end of August. So it's a pretty close-in process. And so, yeah, pretty easy to apply.
Fantastic. No, that's great. And then we were talking about, you know, Mike winning the award. How many people have won it 2 years in a row? Is that possible?
Anything.
No pressure, Mike, for next year. Yeah.
Got to get to work. Got to get to work.
Right.
Mike.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Hey,
Yep,
you
let's
can't
go,
just
Mike.
create one awesome thing. You got to create more.
Exactly.
That is
Super
awesome.
way.
Well, and lastly, you know, the best engineered vehicle that is going to be presented SEMA Central Hall at 10:30. And correct me here if I'm wrong, guys. Is that going to be on Thursday?
That is on Thursday. Yes.
on Thursday. So if you want to check that out, that will be really awesome. I am probably one of a billion people that say looking at the best engineered vehicle and really appreciating what the great engineers of our industry can spin up is so incredible. So, two things. I think you should hound Mike Black on a congratulatory LinkedIn or email or however you can get a hold of him. Bug him, call him a lot, text him too much. Congratulations, Mike Black. This is an awesome award. And we look forward to seeing all the great award winners at SEMA. There's so much great talent doing so many great things. And as always, we are here to help highlight those great achievements. And I always love to end with any young talent that's looking at automotive as a possible avenue to develop an incredibly rewarding and incredibly fulfilling talent. Reach out to myself, reach out to Kelly, Bob. They're active on LinkedIn. The best way to get connected is to just start getting connected. And connect with leaders of the industry. It's such a rewarding career. Before we sign off, I'd love to Bob, give you maybe a moment to talk a little bit about SEMA and kind of some closing thoughts on your end, and then same to you, Kelly.
Yeah, sure. So my biggest push is in seeing the next generation, of people who are coming out of school for engineering, or maybe they're really big into product development or entrepreneurial, to find a pipeline into the industry. It's so easy for them to get scooped up maybe by like huge companies, maybe they're government or big big automotive companies. OEs sometimes just scoop up hundreds of this talent pool. And I just want you guys to know that the pipeline exists. You can get into the fun side of the field, which is the automotive aftermarket. So whether you like making supercharger parts or nitrous things or cams, or you just you want to work on the software side, there's a spot for everybody in this sort of the fun side of the industry, as I kind of look at it. Like, we get to take a really great product a lot of the time, like a cool Camaro or a Mustang or a Corvette, and just customize it and make it that much better. And so there's nothing more rewarding than that. You're not stuck in a cubicle doing it. You're out in the field, and sometimes you're at a racetrack, and sometimes you're on a dyno cell. Like, there's flexibility in the industry. So I just find that most people coming out of schools that are interested in this stuff just don't know how to get in. Like you were saying. So you have a way in. You can talk to Kelly, you can talk to myself, and really any of the SEMA networks and councils. If you just Google the word SEMA network, the words SEMA networks and councils, there's a whole list of them. ETTN, like Kelly said, that's the tip of the spear. That's the we look at technology and make sure nothing coming down the line will hurt us. And how can we help? How can we make this an improvement for the industry? But also there's an off-road council network. There's hot rod. There's a whole area for everybody, depending on what you're interested in. So I would suggest that if you're young and you want to get in the industry, look at those networks and councils, figure out what it is. It's free to join, and then raise your hand and say, how can I help? And we always find, Kelly can confirm this, people, when they raise their hand, we're like, hey, we're gonna utilize that. And if you raise your hand and say, how can I help? We'll put you in a leadership, because we'll see that in you. And that's literally it's like a breadcrumb trail to the industry that way. So that's my long-winded answer. Hopefully you can.
That is so awesome, because we talk about it so much, and it's incredibly important. And even ETTN, to the young people in the industry, no matter where you're at, you have connection points from the email, LinkedIn, et cetera. And there's always folks that are willing to help. But yeah, Kelly, would love to kind of get kind of your closing statements on your end and go from there.
Honestly, I mean, building upon what Bob said, if you are interested in the aftermarket, reach out. You're not bothering anybody. We can't help and we can't support the next generation coming into the aftermarket if we don't know, right? And so please reach out to us on LinkedIn, reach out to SEMA. With ETTN, kind of building on that next generation, we have a really two exciting actually events next year coming up with ETTN in our partnership with SAE, the Society of Automotive Engineers, with 2 career fairs in Detroit on February 22nd. 25, and then Diamond Bar at the SEMA headquarters in Diamond Bar, California, on March 8th of 25. And it's an event that we partner with SAE on their actual presentations for Formula SAE. But it's also a career fair. So we will have companies, including my company, at both locations there to talk to you directly. You can talk to my engineering directors directly and find out what a career in the aftermarket might look like. That's one of the best ways to do that, and it's free to attend. So come out and do that. And then my last closing statement is just volunteering within the industry. Again, SEMA is so much more than a show. And it is a fantastic way to give back to the industry. If you are interested in getting involved at all, please reach out to myself, reach out to Bob. And then to Bob's point, Google SEMA Councils and Networks and pick one that you might be interested in. It's not a lot of time commitment, and it's a fantastic way to be able to give back to the industry that gives us so much.
That is so awesome. Kelly, Bob, it is a pleasure to have you guys on. And I'm going to tell you the legend of Mike Black. Got one last sentence before you go back to back. We're going back to back engineer of the year here, man.
Yeah.
No pressure.
You can do it.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No pressure.
All righty, folks. Well,
All right.
I will say this.
Congratulations, Mike.
Yes.
Yeah. Congrats, Mike. It's awesome to have you on. We appreciate y'all's time. As always, we appreciate y'all coming on. We love to continue to elevate the industry any way we can. Mike Black, Engineer of the Year. Awesome. SEMA's right around the corner. We will see you in a week. This is the Voice of the Industry. We had the 2W Podcast.